going on, y'all? Here we are again with another episode of the Impel Forward Podcast presents Sunday Social.
Sunday Social.
Yeah,
For sure.
We back.
Nice,
We back.
Chill, relax. Just talk about a couple of things,
Yeah.
See how it affects the community, society, whatever.
Right.
Just put it out there in the atmosphere.
Right.
For sure.
So today we go ahead.
No, I was saying you go ahead, man.
Today we're talking about comfort or growth.
Right. Yeah.
Comfort or growth.
Yeah, that's a conversation you and I be having a few times, man, because we personally deal with that.
Right.
Because, people that we're around,
Mm-hmm.
and it's real easy to observe, when you see a person who is in their comfort zone and then a person that's in their growth zone.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, I guess the biggest thing about it is where is the conflict? Where's the obstacle? Because so many people, they comfortable in their comfort zone.
Yeah. I believe it's mental.
Oh, yeah,
Mental.
for sure.
Mental.
Definitely.
I know a few people who they sitting on money right now. They don't even know it.
Yeah.
And they might know it, but they just don't have the knowledge to move forward and what it is or know what it is to move forward.
You know what? I'm gonna add something to that.
Mm-hmm.
So, not having that knowledge definitely is a part of it, but not having that drive is
Right.
like the majority of it. Like
Yeah.
to go out and get it.
Mm-hmm.
That I think that's what that step is out of your comfort zone
Right.
into your growth zone. When you get to a point where you just get so tired of being stagnant, content, life just like it's not changing or anything like that. Something's got to propel that person to get out of their comfort zone
Right.
and step into their growth zone. Because remember, you and I were talking about this offline one time about how the pandemic
Right.
caused so many people, forced so many people out of their comfort zone,
Right.
and they had to grow.
They had to grow.
They had to adapt.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing you probably don't want to get to is when you forced out of
Yeah.
your comfort zone, because then when you get forced out of your comfort zone, you gotta grow by those restraints. You don't have control of your growth zone
Right.
when you forced outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people don't even really, understand that. Hell, I didn't understand that. It's something you just learn through trial and error.
Right.
Like if you in your comfort zone chilling and something comes through and boom, knock you out of your comfort zone, now you forced to get in
Right.
you forced to take that step.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, sometimes you don't even get forced to take that step. You get pushed.
Pushed,
You get
right.
pushed into your growth zone. And now it's like, okay, I gotta adapt. I gotta survive. I gotta figure it out because there is no failure, And like I said, the pandemic put a lot of people into that.
Right.
But like you were saying, like it's mental for some other people who have that luxury of staying in their comfort zone.
And I think some of them just think too much.
What you mean? Like
what could go wrong instead
Ooh.
of what could go right.
yeah.
They-
That what do you call it? A pessimistic attitude.
Yeah.
When they ain't optimistic, they pessimistic. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
They don't look at all the good that can happen out of starting your own business or just building something.
Yeah.
They're looking at, oh, this can go wrong. What if this don't work? What if it does work?
Yeah.
What if it does work?
You're right. You're right. I've seen a lot of people like that too, man. They're so stuck in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And like they focus on, or they might have one thing bad happen one time. They might have stepped out of their comfort zone,
Right.
try something.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Try to start a business, might try to start a new job, and
Right.
it didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got mad. They went back to their comfort zone. They retreated.
Yeah.
And man, I know for a lot of people, like you said, it takes that mental know-how to say, hey, this is where I am, and you need to figure out where you want to go. If
Right.
you want to go back, if you want to stay in your comfort zone, or if you want to go to your growth zone. And I think a lot of that depends on the person too, man.
And a lot of people can't handle failure.
Ooh,
And failure
another
is-
good one.
Yeah, failure is part of the process.
Yeah, no resiliency, man.
Right.
Yeah, they can't bounce back.
Right, can't bounce back.
Yeah, and I think that scares people too. That's So when people talk about fear, I think you can link that together. Your fear and having a lack of resiliency
Right.
to keep going. To okay, when I get knocked down, can I get back up?
Right.
Do I want to get back up? Do I want to keep going? And then for some people, they got to realize like, what's it worth to you?
Right.
How much do you feel for it?
Yeah. I know a guy who he works for this company,
Mm-hmm.
makes pretty good money, and he has the wherewithal, and he knows that he wants to start his own, and he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
He just he said he gets good bonuses
From the job.
Yeah. And he's like, the bonuses keep holding him back.
They keep him in there.
He don't want to leave that money.
Yeah.
He said, but he's ready to go. So that's like a tug of war too.
Okay.
With some people, you know. Company but they make all these big companies all that money, and they can. Some people, even if they don't have a skill of their own, they might have that skill set of what they do for that company,
right?
That they can take and build their own, and that's true. That's what he has.
That's true.
And it's plenty of people like that, you know. So,
but he won't go start his own company. Though?
Well, he wants to, but it's like a conflict of interest. So he would have to be real strategic about doing it, you know.
Okay.
So, but it's a lot of other people like that too who does things for a lot of big companies, make all these companies all that money. Yeah. Where they can go out and make it for themselves.
I've seen that, man. Like, again, going back to the pandemic, like a lot of people who were in, like, you know, a lot of people I've known that had high level skills during the pandemic, or they got laid off or something like that. They were forced to pivot, and they became consultants, doing that same thing that they were doing for these companies. Yeah. But again, you don't want to get forced out of your comfort zone into that. Right. But like your friend, if he's talking about if he's making that type of environment where he's good, he's relaxed, these bonuses are coming in, you don't have too much, you know, pressure to get out of his comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But and the thing is also the thing that he does a lot of other stuff on the side too. Yeah. But one thing is for some people like his is kind of conflict of interest. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have to necessarily. They don't have to necessarily leave their job. Yeah. You know, they can do other things on the side and still stay within that job, as long as it's not a conflict of that interest. Right. But some people don't even take that initiative.
Man, that's the thing, man. You know? That is the thing. You and I have known people who they have the skills, they got the talent, but they lack the drive. And then if you like that, like you kind of that makes it's a house of cards. Everything crumbles. Then the equation doesn't work out. The math ain't mathing. You know, because I know so many people, man. And it's like, yo, they can do this. I know they can do it. Right. But they just sit on the couch, or they're just playing games, or they don't take themselves seriously.
Right. It's like we see more in them than they see in themselves.
Yeah. 100%.
That's kind of, you gotta pour into and then know when to stop.
Yeah, you gotta know when to wash your hands and walk away. Right. You gotta walk away, because if you don't, man, then you start bringing up levels of could be resentment. You know, and for you or for them, because there have been people where I've known where I've believed in their talent, their skill, and I brought them on board with me, and they were trash. Right. Yeah, and then that just it pissed me off.
Because like you say, they didn't have it. It wasn't in them.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you try to help somebody get into their growth zone. Because I always talk about how being on the same frequency allows you to communicate, and I believe that in people. So like-minded individuals, you know, they flock together. Right. So when you try to bring somebody in, be like, yo, I see what you're talking about. Like, I'm on that level too. And you try to bring somebody in, and you find out they don't have it. They don't have that drive that you have. Right. And it's not a bad thing. And I guess that's one thing when it comes down to talking to somebody who is comfortable in their comfort zone. Like, you really got to just let them be them and not take it personal. Right. Because they're just never going to see it the way you see it.
And maybe they need to see you in action.
And, you know, I've tried that before, too, man. I've tried that before. And it still ain't the same. Yeah, it still doesn't equate. It doesn't come out. Right. And it's because those people, they just have a different perspective of how they process them stepping into, you know, a larger role or trying to make a different pivot in life. But between your comfort zone and that growth zone, that's a big step. Right. It's a big step. Some people got it. Some people don't. Right. Some people go and get it. Yeah. You know?
And there's other means to make more money. Yeah. It's like even with investing. Now I have, since one of my customers, he talked to me about stocks some years ago. Yeah. And it took me a while to, I had it in my mind to do it, but it took me a while to start it. Yeah. And once I started learning it, and I'm still learning now, but once I start learning, I try to share it with other people. Man, do this, do that. do this, do
try
that.
this, try
you
that.
know, I ain't know I'm not an expert, but I can lead you in direction to get you started, and you can
right
along with me. Just you can give me some inspiration to get more. You can look at this and just share with each other.
I think that's good, man. Like that's healthy to take people like at least that far along the way.
Right.
You know, to the point where it's like, hey, I'm looking into this. I got an interest in this too. You might have an interest. Let me show you the basics or just this part. You know what I'm saying? I can show you where to go to get the information.
Yeah.
And then from there, you realize if a person is going to follow up on what you said or not. And I think that's where you start determining, okay, you can start picking people out.
Right.
Like, okay, this person is about it. This person ain't about it.
Right.
You know, this person will do it. This person will follow up on some stuff. This person ain't do it.
Right.
So, and I think that makes a difference, man, because there's a lot of just ambition, you know, in some people. Right. Some people it's not. And I don't know where that line is. If it's the fear of failure, or maybe they just don't know, that lack of knowledge that you were talking about. Right. But trying to take that big ass step between comfort and growth.
Yeah, but and the thing with that is they got Stash, Acorn, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
We spend so much money on everything else.
Random stuff.
You put a little bit in those things here and there. Yeah. Once a week, once a day. You can do it once a week. You do it once a month. It can add up.
And facts. The problem, again, I think it come back to like the knowledge, because so much stuff is out there, but people don't know where to go. Or they might just be overwhelmed. Right. And they don't even get started.
Yeah, don't know how. I can see that. Yeah, you know, But me, once I learned, I dove in. That's what I do. Once
it's mindset.
Yeah, that mindset. Once I learn something, or I'm trying to learn something, I dive into it. I might not even have a plan sometimes, even with doing different business. I might not have a plan, but I'm gonna go in it.
See, that's what that reminds me too, man. Because you know, there's like so many like ambitious cliches out there. Like you gotta jump out in the sky and you gotta pull your parachute while you're falling down. You just gotta take a leap of faith. You gotta build a plane enough just so it can get in the air, and then finish building it in the air. And I mean, like a lot of ambitious people, like we understand that, we get it. Some people just like you said, they got that they pessimistic. They look at it like, I don't think that's the right thing to do. You know, it's always that negativity or something. But you can only go so far with those people. Yeah. And you gotta wash your hands with it. It's not a bad thing, man, when somebody's in their comfort zone. You just have to know where you fit at in the grand scheme of things. Like, am I in a comfort zone, or am I in my growth area? Me personally, I'm constantly in a growth area.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean with everything across life, man. Just learning everything, man. If there's a new word that I never heard before, I'll go and Google it.
Oh yeah. And
figure out what it is. I'm like, okay, all right, learn what that is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Instead of just taking new information and throwing it away. I don't do that. You know, I might set it to the side and use it later.
Now, have you ever struggled with wanting something to be so perfect before you started?
Ooh. Yes. Okay. Yeah. That perfectionism also is an obstacle, man. Yeah. It'll hold you back. And I think that's a strong that's a tug of war between being ambitious and then having like perfectionism. Right. Because you can be so ambitious behind the scenes to get this going. I want this to be perfect before I launch it. Right. you never launch it because you sit there wait for it to be so perfect. Right. And you still ambitious though. So that's a crazy tug of war because you're not in a comfort zone, but you in a growth zone. So it's weird. It's weird. I fall into that a lot, man. A lot. I struggle with that a lot. But that's something good to get more exposure on, to let people know, like, hey, where you at? Where you fitting at? Right. You know, if you're in a comfort zone, okay, cool, that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right. You need to know that though, because you don't want people to, you know, complain. And that's one thing I hate about people complaining when they're in their comfort zones. And it's like, well, you can change that.
You can change that.
you can get out of that. Yeah. You can get out of it. I always say, man, it's two complaints. It's only two types of complaints in the world. A valid one and an invalid complaint. Right. A valid complaint is something out of your power. It's out of your control. You can't change the weather. You know, that's out of your control. If it's too cold and you complaining about it, fine, that's valid. But an invalid complaint, oh, my job is working me too much. Okay. I got it. Okay. Get a new skill set. Right. You know what I'm saying? Go back to school, whatever. Sounds easy. Nobody said it is. Right. It sounds easy, but nobody said it is. If it bothers you enough, you'll make the necessary changes to adjust. You know, so many people, nah, man, they could. We know people who complain all day about their situation, but won't lift a leg or a finger or put a penny of investment in themselves to get out of it. Yeah. And so
I've talked to a few people that they came around, and I could see them doing things a lot different. And sometimes it just takes time. It just takes time.
If they see it in themselves first, man. If they see it in themselves, man. But I get it, man. That first step, it's a hell of a step. It's a hell of a step. And it might be too wild for some people. They'll take it. And if they fall, they go back. Right. They retreat right back to the comfort zone. And I've seen people who, like, you know, they go out there, they fly too high to the sun, and they fall. And they go right back to their comfort zone.
Yeah, you can either use that in dealing with health. People wait till they're on their deathbed,
that's a good one.
or wait till they're real sick to try to start eating. Eating right.
Yeah. Now they're getting forced. Now they're getting forced out of the comfort zone. I gotta change my diet, my habits now. Yeah. You
don't want to wait.
Yeah. That's a common one too, man. I like that. Right. That's a common one because a lot of people don't see that. They don't apply like growth and they don't apply the comfort zone and their growth zone to their actual aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? Like their health. They always think about it like, oh, well, on a professional level, like getting a new job or something. Like, no, your comfort level applies to how you treat yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like, do you see yourself being the same person 20, 30 years from now? I know people from high school still doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Me too, yeah.
And like I said, it's okay. I'm gonna continue to say it's okay because that's something I had to learn.
Yeah, you gotta live for yourself.
You got exactly. Yeah. When you look at yourself and you're like you a highly ambitious person, and you look at other people that you know that ain't ambitious, and you kind of look at them like, man, I know you can do better. Like I know you can do more. At a certain point, you just gotta back off. And you just gotta let them live their life, and you gotta continue on your journey.
Yeah. You don't want to look down on people.
You don't want to do that.
I don't even think it's looking down because it's like you say we see it in them.
Yeah.
And like, but I don't know. You said. Because we see them, they may not have it.
It's crazy, though. It's crazy when you can look at another person, you believe in another person so much, but then they let you down because they didn't try. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't try.
Well, are they letting us down, though? Are they letting us down?
I think yes and no. Man. They let you down because, and you was explaining something to me a while ago, man, about having potential in a person. And I was saying something that somebody taught me years ago is that the potential you see in somebody else in another person is fake. It's not real. And so many people, they confuse belief and potential. I was confused too. I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, explain that more to me.
So, the way it was explained to me is like, we mostly believe in each other than potential. For instance, like I believe in my kids are going to do good in any sport that they play in. I believe they're gonna do good on their test in school. Like I believe in them to be the best versions of themselves. But when I look at potential, or when anybody looks at potential of another person, you're basically projecting your perspective on what you would do in their position. So if we watching a game on TV or something, man, we're like, okay, somebody missed a layup or they missed a catch. It's like, oh, I would have caught that. I would have did that. I know they can do that. I know they got the potential because you would have thought you would have did it. So you were believing in the potential you had in that person if you had their resources, their talent, their skills, and what you would do with it. You know, I can't jump like Michael Jordan or LeBron James, but if I had that, if I was in their position, I'd be like, yeah, I could do that all day. You know, you believing in the potential that they could do. But I mean, when you look at it, you have to look at the difference between the potential of a person, of what they can accomplish, and then you believing in them that they can get it done. Yeah.
And we talked about this topic before, comfort and growth. Like you said, we had many discussions.
Right.
But I seen a friend of mine on Facebook that actually posted that. And that's what led to me wanting to talk about it on now. I was like, immediately I got in the comments, I said, lean towards growth.
Oh, were they confused on which way to go?
That's all they posted. I think all they posted was comfort or growth, or stuck between comfort or growth. And I said lean towards growth.
Got to get growth every time, man. If it's a choice, pick growth every time.
Every time.
And one of the main reasons for me is that I know what's in my comfort zone. I know what to expect over there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's in my growth side. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. But that's the beauty of it.
Right.
That's the whole beauty of it.
And why not go for it?
Yeah, man, so many people are scared of the unknown. Like,
yeah.
Once you get out of them fears, once you get out of your head and just, you know, back yourself up, believe in yourself, and you can go get it done. Right. So many people talk themselves out of their growth zone. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're crazy.
That's good right there.
That's crazy.
People talk themselves out of their growth zone.
Hey, they negotiate with themselves.
Right.
Negotiate with themselves. I think if you get to a level in life, you got to have a real serious conversation with yourself to say, hey, you know, I'm going to get XYZ done, you know, regardless of anything else. This is what I'm going to do. And that could be anything. That could be finding a new job. That could be finishing a degree, being the best parent you could be, whatever it is. But you need to make a choice. Right. You need to make a decision. Because going back to your growth zone, yeah, it feels comfortable and safe to you, but it could be affecting other people. Right. Like being in your growth zone, your comfort zone. Right. Being in your comfort zone as a parent, it's not a good thing when your kids are trying to grow, when you have to teach them. Like I know so many parents on social media that they post their kids all day because they can't post themselves. Right. Like they were always, the parent might be an introvert. So you never see the parent.
They living through their kids? So.
Exactly. Like they're living through their kids, man. And it's that type of stuff you got to be very careful of. Right. Because now you are putting a wrong perception into your child. You know, you thinking your child need to go out there and be a people person because you don't want to be a people person.
Well, maybe they might be pushing, if they see their child does have a skill or is talented, maybe they just push them to do that.
And I can see that. That is valid. That's valid. But I'm talking about there's so many parents out there that, you know, I mean, there are kids out there 6 months old with Instagram pages. Why? Why? They don't need that.
6 months.
Yeah. Instagram kids, their babies on Instagram with pages. They don't need that. Right. That's the parents, man. That's all the parents.
Now, that young, I can say that's
all the parents, you know? And I got it. Your child is beautiful, cute, amazing. You want to show them off, you know? But your child don't want that. Your child ain't ask for that. Right. You know, that's your doing. Yeah. And then you're not posting pictures of yourself because, you know, it makes you feel awkward. Right. Okay, I got it. And then that's another thing, an emotional comfort zone, an emotional growth zone. That's one of the things I talk with my kids about because nobody ever talked to me about it as a kid. Right. You know, when you get to an emotional growth zone, like, and what I mean by that, an example is like having social skills, learning how to talk to people, you know, learning how to handle, you know, manage your anger, things like that. Like your confidence, your growth zone, how it feels internal is just as important as it is externally. Right. You know, and a lot of people don't process that too well, man. Right. But, you know, this whole conversation is to put it out there and think about it, you know, in so many different aspects.
I'm going to always lean towards growth.
You have to, man.
Always.
You have to.
I'm always thinking outside the box. What can I do?
Yeah. And it's not a cliche. Like, you actually follow up on it, man. Yeah. You don't say it just to say it. Like, that sounds good. Yeah. Nah, man, like, when at the end of the day, you at the house reading the books or you doing research or you learning something, you know what I'm saying? That's the growth part, like putting the work in. Yeah. You know?
A lot of people have to write it down. You know, write it down, look at it.
Yeah.
This idea, write it down. Write it down. Look at it. And go from there.
And that's fine, man. That's beautiful.
Write it down.
That's beautiful because you don't know what growth looks like until you start taking the step. Like, you have to start defining it for yourself. But you'll never figure it out if you don't take the step. Yeah. The first step to go and grow. Yeah. So I think that's dope, man. Yeah. So I just wish other people, you know, I guess this conversation is to raise awareness for getting into your growth zone. Yeah. And more people see that and be exposed to, okay, let me try something. Like, get out there and do something you never did before, man. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like, I try to do that with me and my kids. You know, we'll go horseback riding or, you know, we'll go catch a zip line at one of the, you know, outdoor parks or something. Something just different, you know?
I ain't doing that. You better than me.
I'm saying zip line? Hey, I know a good one you can go right now. Yeah. We're going Wake Forest.
I'll find me a clothesline in the backyard.
Oh, Lord. Hey, but I'm saying, though, like, along those lines, man, like, that's the most important part, man, because you don't want to be one of those people who have regrets
Yeah.
You know, you 60, 70 years old. I wish I should have did this. I wish I could have did that.
Yeah, because I do have those now. But
Yeah.
some things I started doing some years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
You ain't finish? You ain't follow up? Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna try doing them now.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I'm somewhere in the middle, man. Like I follow up on everything. I just don't execute too well.
Right,
I don't finish everything.
Yeah.
I want to learn different language. I want to travel.
Yeah.
I want to learn new skills. And I'll jumpstart and get in the basis of learning that stuff. But then along the lines, it gets too much, and I'm like, okay, I gotta dial back a little bit. I'm going a little too. I'm trying to grow a little too fast, and I can't grow as fast as I would like.
You know, and sometimes you gotta pull back to grow. You know,
but I'm telling you,
dog, take that step back. And
I would rather have more problems in my growth zone than in my comfort zone. If it comes down to it, I would definitely love that. Yeah, I operate in my growth zone all day, all day. Yeah. That's it for me, man. All day.
Well, yeah, that was a good conversation.
Yeah,
we can talk forever about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Tell the people what can they find you?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram at The Modified Gentleman, and from there, that's where we help men out by defining their masculinity. We help them with masculine wellness. We give them the tools, tips, and strategies to help figure that out with their leadership and mentorship so they can have a healthier, more masculine lifestyle. Yeah. And that's that.
The Modified Gentleman.
The Modified Gentleman, definitely.
All right, that's another episode for the Sunday Social.
All right.
Y'all stay tuned for the next episode. If you like what you saw, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Impel Forward Podcast.